It's hard to watch something you love destroy itself, to see it fall apart. Disaster always feels so distant, detached. Someone else's struggle in some faraway place. It's not until it's in our city, at our doors, that we realize how fragile we are. All of us. All of this.
No, baby, Steven. I'm here. Mommy's right here. No.
Please.
I love you, Marcus.
Sarah.
And when it hit, when it came down hard.
Give me my family back.
And we fell.
Fucking
We
lies.
buried ourselves in anger, fear, in the instinct to survive.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm just not strong enough.
Where's the drive, Simon?
Please no more.
And the real truth is, no one watched. No one saw, wanted to see.
Where you going?
Tragedy is invisible. People turn away from it and run from it if they can. And it's hard knowing that you belong here, that your purpose lies amongst all this pain. But someone's gotta be there to pick it up, to push back, put the first piece back together, put us all back together.
Three, two, one. I meant to stop that. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics, and you may be wondering, why the hell do we see a stupid Division trailer before before the Ash on Comics Lives? And my answer to that is, you don't follow me on Discord, I guess. No, really, honestly, that is one of my favorite game trailers of all time. And it's stark. It's, what is the word? Shockingly. I'm at a loss for the right exact word. But it's extremely poignant and prophetic when you realize that game, that's the first game in the series of currently two, that, oh geez, I can hear like the dishwasher coming through my mic. That's wrong time to do the dishes. It's it's one of those games that I don't know. This game was originally, I started following it in 2014. There was no COVID, in sight. No one ever thought this. It's weird to look at this game now in hindsight. When did it come out? I think it came out in 2016 when it was actually released. I think 2016 sounds about right. And wow, it's that trailer I love because it's so, I don't know, there's something emotional about it. The seeing how it plays, it tells you about like what happened in the past, but you only see kind of the ghost echoes of it, like the depressions in the snow of people. You can hear the sounds of people getting hurt and beat up, but they don't actually show it. They don't need to show you that violence. You just experience the horror through your own imagination. And then you see the guy who's obviously been beat up by hoodlums and so forth, and when society breaks down, and then the main character, the Division guy, shows up, and he reaches his hand to like, get up, we're here to help you, like, we're gonna stand against this. And I am a sucker for hero stories, and people standing up to injustice, standing up for virtue, standing up for people who aren't in a position to stand up for themselves. And that story, that cinematic was so well done to me. It moves me even just years later. But the reason I decided to play it is because I like to share it with people. For number one, like, you should see it, whether or not you're a video game player, like games at all, like the care about the Division. It's a really well done trailer. I think it's it kind of amounts to like a short story. But the Division 2 is a game that came out in 2019. It came out about a little over a year ago, and for whatever reason, I didn't get it. I think there were other games. There was too many games that were coming out at the time, I think was the problem. I was in the middle of buying comics. My budget's been realigned. I don't really play games like I used to, and I was like, I don't want to pay $60 for this game. And another thing about the game is it's one of those games that you want to play with people. You can play it by yourself. I played a lot of the first Division game by myself, but it's really designed to play with friends. You play it with a squad of up to 4 people, and when you cooperate you can play through the whole game, like the whole campaign, and with people, and you work as a team, and it's fantastic. The graphics are phenomenal, the design, you just enter this world, this sort of post-apocalyptic world on the brink of the apocalypse literally just happened. So society is still kind of there. It's not like Mad Max where it's a wasteland. It's more of like, imagine yesterday, 3/4 of the world died. Like, all the buildings would still be there. So society is just now breaking down, and it's an interesting story. And so I just started playing the Division 2 earlier this afternoon, because it's on sale for under $10 on Xbox. And I was like, I can't pass this up. And I started playing it again, and I was like reminded, first of all, how much I enjoyed the first game. Despite there is flaws with the first game that I'm not going to go into here, but how much I enjoy, like, it's strangely cathartic today to play this game because of what's going on in the real world. We got the COVID, we got the riots, we feel like society's breaking down, and I'm playing through this game today, and I'm like, oh, it just feels so good to shoot someone. And I don't say this to be violent, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see on the streets, and I see what's going on in like Kenosha and all this stuff. And in the video game world, you can actually stand up to these people. You can do something about these hoodlums, and you're trying to make the world a better place. And it's really strange. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a Division 3 if Donald Trump doesn't get reelected. Like, I think our society will change that much, because it wasn't just a year ago that we all believed in law and order. We all believed in it. It was, we had the SJWs. We still do, obviously, but even they were, a year ago, if you would have asked them about today, if you would have said, like, hey, would you, if almost every major city in the United States was rioting for 3 months straight, burning down innocent businesses, killing people in the streets. Would that be okay? Like, well, no, we don't. That's ridiculous. I got to take it that far. And here we are. Like, you are taking it that far, and now the news is like spinning it, and everyone's kind of, not everyone, but there's plenty of people who are like trying to make the mental gymnastics to be like okay with it somehow. And it's really weird. It's really, now that it's actually happening. But the Division is not at all progressive SJW, although it's one of those, it's like soft progressive. It's weird that I call this soft progressive, because it is one of those games that's like it does the same thing that the Witcher TV show does, where it doesn't preach at you progressive ideology, but what it does is it makes sure that every single race, every single race and sexual orientation possible is like at all times is represented. It's like, here's a major scene with a bunch of characters. Okay, is there a black person? Check. Black woman? Check. Is there a gay person? Check. Is there... It doesn't ever preaches at you. They're just there in the background. Just, hey, cool. And you're like, well, okay, you're in a major metropolitan city. It's believable. It's not out of the realm, but it feels also kind of like, really. Anyway, I love the game. For all intents, I love what the game's trying to do. I should say it's beautiful to play. It's beautiful in its ugliness, if that makes sense. So I posted in my channel that I was playing it, and I was all excited and passionate, and I was like, hey, does anyone else want to buy this game? It's less than $10. I'm trying to sell people on it. Come play with me. So that's my personal plug for the game, and we'll get past that now. I related it to my show because it's a game about heroes. It's a game about people standing up against the chaos of the world, and you get to be one of those people, and you get to help society. And it's like I said, it's cathartic to play. Tehillim is number 1 today. Tehillim has not been number 1 in a long, long time. I think it's because he's on the other side of the international date line, and he just doesn't get the times right. But good to see him there as number 1. Dragon Majesty comes in 2nd place. Good to see you both. I don't know if Tehillim's actually here. He might have been number 1 like days ago, because I had this thing set up a long time. Eric Breen says, come on, man, we got to dance. I'm sorry, no dancing tonight. Just imagery that might trigger you. Hopefully it didn't. Let's see. Marani says, we want music. We want Ash. Well, we want music, at least, says Eric. That's what I should do, right? If I could just make a YouTube stream, it's just music, not me. So get the... let's see. Dragon Majesty says, none of us have Spotify. Neither do I, to be honest. Uzab. Am I pronouncing that right? Uzab? I'm gonna guess that's it. Nalo or bust? Wow. Just replace Ash from Ash on Comics. It's gonna make it Nalo on Comics. Where has Nalo been? Used to see him kind of regularly. I haven't talked to Nalo in quite a while. It's like he did a stream with me and then I never heard from him again. It's like Eric. He did a stream with me and now he just mocks me in the chat. What else? I got quite a few comments. Okay, so here we go. We get people, the chat catching up with what's going on. Let's see. Assassin's Creed America, says Uzab. Preview of 2021. Like, right? Serious? Dragon Majesty. Yes, Ash showing us the future. I am the prophet, Ash. I am showing you. Noble Sacrifice. This is Call of Duty. Noble Sacrifice. When Call of Duty, you pay the price. Or duty calls. Dragon Man says it's bleak. Tehillim satirical. I would say though that trailer, while it is bleak, there's hope and like goodwill, like feeling. I think there's good feeling in it. The bleakness is just the backdrop, right? It's like the darkness before the light. And what I liked about that trailer is that it's not just about like, oh, we're all effed. You know, it's like the world is in a bad spot, but we're going to pull through because of good people. And that's the message that comics used to have all the time. I was watching earlier Perch. You guys ever watch Perch? Comics with Perch, I think is his channel name. He was doing a stream, like a I think it was a stream where he was playing the new Avengers game and he had, I think it's he has two daughters. They were, they were just like in the background and they were all talking while he played the game, and he played sort of through the beginning of the game. And oh my God, you want to talk about bleak. I was just, it's not on the surface bleak. It's the whole play, the beginning of the play. It's all you play as Kamala Khan, right? In the beginning. And you're like, I don't know, 14 years old. Like, she looks really young in the game. And you play her, but she doesn't have her powers yet. And she's going to this big presentation, something or other. It's Avengers Day. And so in the Marvel world, apparently they have a whole day dedicated to the Avengers called Avengers Day. And it's basically this big celebration. It's like Star Wars celebration, but for the Avengers. And, and there's a red carpet, and she somehow got invited. I missed how it was, probably because she's like the world's biggest Avengers fan. I don't know. There's a couple of kids that were invited. It kind of reminded me of Willy Wonka, how you got the golden ticket, you're going. And I was just sort of disgusted. Number one, I kind of rolled my eyes back because I know who Kamala Khan's going to be, and I just think the character's stupid. But what was really bothering me is, like, first of all, they all fly in on a Quinjet. I'm like, really? The Avengers, like, fly these fans in on a Quinjet? And I'm like, and then they land, there's a red carpet and all this stuff. And I was like, remember in comics, these characters were about heroism and sacrifice to save people. It was all about, like, characters like Peter Parker, right? The kid's a genius. He's a certified, legitimate, super genius, right? In our world, the guy would be running a mega corporation. He's that level of intelligent, right? He's easily as intelligent as Elon Musk, right? Peter Parker is a genius. Now in the Marvel world, obviously geniuses have to be much higher, because if you aren't like Reed Richards and you're like bending space and time, then you're just a normal smart person. You're not super genius, but Peter Parker's invented things that we have never invented in this world. And he just did it in his basement or garage, his apartment. I don't know how he did this stuff, but my point is he's a really smart guy, but he's never, well, okay, during the original comic run, not counting this. Yes, I know he owned a corporation at one point, but okay, the original Peter Parker stuff and the stuff you see in the movies and everything, he's never accomplishes anything, because that's part of the point. He's sacrificed his own prosperity to help people. He's never made time for himself. So he's always poor, right? He's always barely making ends meet, selling photos of Spider-Man to J. Jonah Jameson, things like that. Superman, right? He just works as a reporter at the Daily Planet. He's not making millions of dollars. He easily could, identify him. Hey, guess who I'm Superman, and he could probably have 1 million corporate sponsors, and he'd be richer than any celebrity, right? He's Superman. He's easily the most famous person in the imaginary world that he's in. But he doesn't. He lives a humble life, because it's not about bragging and showing off and self-aggrandizement. It's not about celebrity. He doesn't want that. He just wants to have a low-key life as a person. He's a reporter, and he has pride in what he does. But he helps people, and being Superman is not about, look at me, I'm Superman. It's about literally, like, you need help, I'm gonna help you. That's what he cares about. But this modern Marvel world, it's not like that. They're like, it's look at us, we're the best, we're so awesome. And then of course, Kamala Khan's walking around this place, and a couple of the Avengers show up and talk to her, but they talk to her like a way a celebrity does. And it was just really disgusting. Not on the surface. If you looked at it on the surface, you might say, oh, that's innocent or whatever. But when you know the subversion, when you're awake to it and you realize what they're trying to really do there and how they're really trying to twist what superheroes are, they're not superheroes anymore. They're super celebrities. And it's about elitism and being better than other people. And you look down your nose at them and it's like you help them because you pity them. You're like, oh, you're not good enough to be an Avenger. I'll help you because it gets me fans, right? Like that's what the modern Marvel heroes remind me of. And that game was just like that. I was like, oh. And of course, it's got a bully kid in the beginning who picks on Kamala because she's not a big enough fan, of course, because she's a girl. And it's just hits all the buttons. And I was like, this is bleak to me. I watched that Division trailer and I'm like, there's a bleak world that this setting this then, but there's not bleak otherwise. It's hope, and the people who are real people and heroes and aren't going, hey, look at me, I'm awesome. They're just on the streets with with the suffering people, and they're just reaching down with their hand and saying, look, get up, we're gonna help you. Anyways, I went on a long diatribe on that, but that's the way I do it. Marani says, I can hear the rees from certain people. Dragon Ball, he says he's playing Final Fantasy 14 free trial, smoking a blunt. This on my giant screen phone. Oh, Dragon Ball's living the life, apparently. He says, I skip all video game cutscenes. If I wanted a movie, I would just watch one. Well, that wasn't a cutscene. That was actually just a pre-generated, cinematic for the game, like it to get you emotionally invested in the game. The Division itself doesn't really it's not one of those types of games because it's designed for multiplayer. It's very much an open world kind of sandbox, and you kind of make your own story in your head as you go through and you play and you explore. In the first game, you explore Manhattan, and you'll come across recordings that people have left or whatever. You come across these things called echoes, which kind of replay a holographic little snippet of time to give you a sense of what happened in all this destruction. And your playthrough is kind of like your own personal story of your character. There's not a lot of cutscene stuff. So Dragon Ball, you might like something like that. Eric Breen says, I don't mock, belittle, perhaps. Oh, Eric, I would say you besmirch. Dragon Ball says, I didn't buy a game because of Kamala. I didn't want to play a video game as a little Indian girl. I didn't buy the game because they just made the Avengers look stupid. Holy crap. Like, you just look at these Avengers, and it looks like they just took models of the developers, like the people that worked in the development studio. None of them look like superheroes. Traditionally comic book heroes, they're like Greek gods, right? The guys are Adonises and the women are like Venus. They're beautiful. They have perfect bodies and all this stuff. And in this video game, it just felt like cosplayers. Like here's Ned in accounting. He put on a Captain America suit, like, and it's not even a Captain America suit. He's like wearing slacks and like a jacket. It's like, I get it when you have to make a movie and you actually have to use real human beings that exist on the planet. And sometimes, we started the old days, like in the 80s, we would put them in rubberized suits because we didn't know how to do, like, spandex would look silly. We didn't know what to do. And then they tried in the 90s of putting, like, X-Men, they did them in like leather suits and be like, it's cool. You're all wearing leather, like biker outfits. And they've never, I don't want to say never. They got it right with Spider-Man, I thought. And Nolan's Batman trilogy did a pretty good job. And now the MCU does it reasonably well. But it just, in a video game, it's like, dude, these are animated characters. They should look amazing, awesome. They can look however you want. Look at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like, go ballistic. Like, make Thor look like a freaking god, not like some freaking I don't even know what to call him. he looks like some dude with a, like he looks like he doesn't have a man bun, but he looks like he should have a man bun. He looks like a total hipster. Just the whole game looks atrocious. It's terrible. And then you get to the play scenes, and I was watching, like, they go to the bridge because for some reason someone's attacking the Golden Gate Bridge, so the Avengers have got to go to the Golden Gate Bridge. And then there's like these soldiers that are just there, and so Thor is fighting just normal soldier guys, and he's smashing them with Mjolnir. And I'm thinking to myself, this is Thor. This is a guy who's, you know, not quite as strong as the Hulk, but dude is one of the strongest superheroes in the Marvel universe, like as far as just pure strength goes. And he's smashing them with Mjolnir. If you hit like a regular person, I mean, they would just turn paste, like, right? But instead, like, because it's a video game or whatever, he's having to hit these guys like 3 or 4 times to knock them out. And I'm like, are you kidding me? If I hit someone, just me, regular old Ash, hit someone with a sledgehammer once, done. Have you ever seen Braveheart? One of the things I loved about Braveheart, I mean, other than it's a great movie, but it was one of the first movies to show melee combat the way melee combat actually is. Like, when you get hit with a ball and chain, it's not cartoony, like, right? It like caves people's heads in. And that's what would, imagine now someone with the strength of Thor hitting you with a hammer that no human can lift, because it's so, like, it would just, people would be turned into paste. But Thor apparently has to whack him multiple times. I was like, doesn't sound like, it doesn't feel heroic, you know? Oh, I'm the god of thunder, but I can barely take down some ragtag soldier guy. Whatever. The game just, I don't know, I'm way in the weeds on this. $69 from MODOK was the last boss. Another reason I didn't buy Avengers. $69. I don't mind if MODOK's the last boss. I mean, MODOK's not a villain that I love, but you could write a cool story, right? I mean, that is not what bothers me. Like, of all the things I've listed, the idea that MODOK is the last. Now, if it's Trump MODOK, like from the comics, then I have a problem. Like, that was really stupid. Eric says, how can you have an Avengers game without America's sweetheart, Miss Chavez? Oh, Eric. Oh, because they need to save her for the DLC, right? They've already announced that there's going to be a bunch of new characters that you can get and play. They're going to be $10 a piece. So, you know, America will be a $10 add-on. Let's see. Christopher Barker says, all right, Ash, if you're complaining about the Avengers game, I played some of it, still am. Seems great to me. Well, that's really all that matters then, because you're the one that paid for it. You're the one playing it. I watched Real Comic Stacks play through the beta. Then I was watching Perch earlier today play through it, and it looked atrocious. Now, visually, like when on the fight on the Golden Gate Bridge and all the stuff, and Thor's calling down lightning and stuff, I do have to hand it to Square Enix. Like, I was like, this looks gorgeous, like that part. But otherwise, I was like, it just, like I said, if the characters all look like cosplay buffoons, like, and not that cosplay people look like buffoons, but we just accept it, right? And if I go to a comic convention and I see some dude walking around in an outfit, I know he's just a normal Joe dressed in an outfit, and I don't have expectations. But if I'm seeing like a computer rendition, like someone had to imagine this and then render it on a computer, and you have to make it look like some dad bod guy who looked like this guy looks like he could strip off his Thor outfit and go into the office and continue developing the game. Like, it just completely strips out. It looks worse than the movie. They made the characters in the movie look more like they belonged in the comics than in the video game. That's not excusable to me. Dragon Ball says, sorry for sounding rude. It wasn't meant to be. No harm done, bud. I don't think you were sounding rude if you were talking to me. Chris says, elitism, Ash. Are you high? No, I don't get high. But like I said, on the surface, it doesn't seem like that. If you're not seeing that, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm probably not very eloquent in describing it. I would urge you, anyone, honestly, to follow. What is it? The YouTuber out there called The Fourth Age, spelled out Fourth. The Fourth Age. RJ is the guy who does it, and he's basically he's a philosopher, and he makes videos about heroism and the destruction of heroism, and the destruction of virtue and the edification of vice, and he uses comics as sort of his stage to illustrate his points, and it's really brilliant. The guy is really intelligent, and he's really educated on all this, and he'll describe how this is changed, but way better than I could. That's not my area forte, but suffice it to say, modern comics, for the most part, especially in Marvel, less so in DC, is all about self-aggrandizement. It's all about, look at me, selfie, look at how awesome I am. Don't you want to be me? Wouldn't it be badass if you were me? But you're not me, too bad. But I'll help you so I can keep my fans and my followers. It's very much the same thing that we have in a culture with social media. Like, look how many followers I have. It's not about stepping down and helping people. And there is, DC does it a little bit better, to an extent, although Bendis is very much changing Superman down the road, so we'll see how that goes. Eric says, you haven't earned besmirchment. Maybe someday. Eric says, why not just make a Young Avengers game? Have they not? Because Sana Amunet doesn't have confidence that she can make those sweet royalties if her creation was to sell the game, or if her creation has to sell the game. I don't know. I think Young Avengers is something that kind of failed. And one of the things I notice about progressives is they don't like to use the existing stuff. They want it to be their thing. So they don't want to mold the whatever existing thing is there. They have to completely replace it with something new. You know, we didn't need Carol Danvers to be Captain Marvel. We had Monica Rambeau forever. It's extremely ironic, actually, that Carol Danvers had to be put into that place. But there we are, you know, like, why do we need Valkyrie when we already had Angela, right? I mean, Marvel went through a whole lawsuit to get Angela, and then completely shit-canned her. Then we had to go through a whole Jane Foster Thor thing, and then she's Valkyrie, and it's just like, because anyways, I'm not going to go down that path. Where I see Christopher Parker, Ash is like Thor hitting thugs with his hammer. Isn't comics accurate? Really, Ash? No, I didn't say it wasn't comics accurate. I said it's not accurate to anyone with any brains. When I see a superhuman being have to punch a regular Joe a bunch of times, if he was having to punch a Doombot a bunch of times, or a supervillain, that would make sense. But when you're going up against normal, just dudes with guns, and you have to smash them over and over and over with your hammer, I think that's dumb, right? It was one of my complaints. So we were talking about The Division earlier. That was one of my complaints about The Division, actually, the original game. There were so many aspects about that game I loved, but I hated that you had to shoot people a million times for them to die. I was like, dude, I shouldn't have to empty multiple clips of ammo into a guy before he dies. That doesn't feel realistic. It doesn't even feel believable. It doesn't have to be ultra real. I don't really want ultra realism. I just want it to not be stupid. And so that's that. I also didn't like the idea because, you know, it's like all the characters are balanced in the game. So essentially, Black Widow can do the same damage as Thor. So Black Widow runs around with her little pistols, and she can shoot someone 3 times or whatever, and they die. Thor has to smash them 3 times and they die. And I'm like, so really what happens is you communicate that all of these heroes all essentially have the same threat level because they're all equal and balanced, which I guess on a video game's sense makes sense because but I would think you just design levels differently. Design like levels just for Thor that Black Widow couldn't do, and then have the Black Widow levels be where she's fighting, just like in the movies, right? When you see the Captain America movies, he's not fighting Thanos, right? He's fighting like corrupt shield agents, Hydra agents. So it's at the Captain America level. But in the video game, it's all the same level, so they like level it doesn't make sense that Black Widow is just as tough as Thor. And I'm sorry. If that doesn't bother you, then that doesn't bother you. It bothers me. Let's see. Fourth Age is really down the anti-SJW rabbit hole. Needs to get off that Kool-Aid he's drinking. No, he's not. He's not. He's got it on the head. You should listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. I wouldn't ignore it. I think maybe perhaps it might be the opposite. If you think that, maybe your head is in the sand. You don't want to see those things. Everyone and Ash, do you think that Kamala Khan could have been done right? I think Marvel did a good job with her up until the end of Civil War II, says Computer Robots. I think, of course, she could have been done right. I mean, any character can be done right. Right is subjective. I think Kamala Khan was done stupid because she's created by Sana Amanat, who's not a comic creator. She's not really a creator at all. And she's admitted she has an agenda in comics, and her agenda is to do gender politics and race bait and do these things. So she basically put herself into comics. Kamala Khan is Sana Amanat. But they even look the same. Sana Amanat's this little short Middle Eastern girl. She's kind of cute. Go look at Kamala Khan in the new Avengers game. She's just same thing. It's just Sana Amanat's like, what if I could be a superhero? And she's got a dumb power and biggin. It's the dumbest thing ever. But yeah, I'm sure someone could have created a Miss Marvel and called her Kamala Khan and come up with something really good and done a great job. I don't think she's dumb because she's a girl of Pakistani descent. That has nothing to do with it. I think that she's a girl of Pakistani descent because of dumb motivations that weren't pure. And because of those bad motivations, it led to a bad character. Eric says, if I was a gamer and spent $70 to play an Avengers game, I'm thinking I'd rather not have Kamala Khan and be the main character. Just saying. Well, Eric, I am a gamer who has to pay $70 for a game. And I've loved Marvel Comics since as long as I can remember. I ain't touching that game. So, you know how I stand. You're complaining about video game mechanics, Ash. Yes, I am. I am complaining. It's a video game. Video games have to have mechanics, and bad mechanics make for poor games. Like I said, I held it to this Division game, which I put on a huge pedestal. I'm not just being biased against the Avengers. But it's reality. It's there. Eric says, if it's like they feel obligated to validate her. Sound familiar? Yes. But here's the thing. They want you to validate her. They emotionally blackmail you that if you don't have anything positive to say about her, it's because you're a bigot. It's because of your, problems. It's you are the problem. Not them. Never. It's never them. We all have to accept. And that's how the subversion works. It's like, look, we're going to subvert you with our agenda. And if you disagree with it, it's because you're a bad person. And we're going to get other people to think like that. And now, even if I complain about it, you can see there's a little bit of contention in the chat. There's certain people who are like, not liking what I have to say. But why? It's just my opinion. If you love the Avengers game and you could be Kamala Khan's biggest fan. I just have a different view. That's all. I'm certainly not able to tear it down, nor would I. I wouldn't take it away from anyone. That's my job here on this channel. It's not even a job, really. This is just my hobby. This is all for me, by the way. Is to just share myself. So I completely understand anyone listening might not like what I have to say, and I don't do that out of purposeful intent, not at all. But so that by necessity, that's going to happen with me being honest and open about my feelings. If I wasn't honest and open about my feelings, then I would just be some sort of shill or some sort of hater. This whole thing would just be fake. And while sometimes being fake has its merits, like in fiction, the point here of having sort of a reality session, me talking about comics and having a real discussion, like I don't like talking to fake people if I'm having a discussion, and I don't want to disrespect anyone here by being fake to them. So hopefully you can understand. Hopefully you understand that my passionate feelings about a subject does not equate to trying to disrespect anyone personally or directly or anything like that. This is purely about the idea and what my feelings are. And those feelings may be wrong. I might be out on left field. I freely admit that. I try to keep an open mind, and I have changed my opinions in the past, and I probably likely change opinions in the future. But the point of this discussion and the show and talking, is just having a voice out there and putting opinions out there, and you get to listen to them and interact with them and tell me you agree or disagree. That's why I listen to things like myself. I mean, not like myself, but I listen to talk radio. I listen to other YouTubers, listen to podcasts. I like hearing other people's opinions, whether I agree or disagree. Because sometimes I'll listen and be shaking my head and be like, oh, this person just doesn't get it. So if you're doing the same to me, I understand. Eric says, I bother Ash. Well, just 90% of the time. Not always. Someone had a Twitter thread yesterday asking people to list their 4 favorite female characters. Every leftist had Kamala Khan as one of their 4. That's because every leftist only knows 4. They only, like, the number of characters they can list, like Kamala Khan is on there. I'm going to sure Captain Marvel, I would guess Captain Carol Danvers was way up there on the numbers too, because they just don't know comics. They're on the outskirts and they're like, tee, I know the comics. I love the comics. Let's see. Dragon Ball says, I'm a 35-year-old man, so I'm in a different demographic, must be. Maybe. Gateway is here. What's up, Gateway? Says I couldn't sleep, and it's badass to see you streaming, Ash. I gotta be awake for 4 hours. In 4 hours, though. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully I can help put you to sleep with my monotonous tone. He says, I appreciate your opinion always, bro, as much as we disagree at times. Real normal people can have discussions like we do. Absolutely. Gateway, by the way, Gateway into Comics, also known as Chase, is a great individual I got to know through the YouTubes like this. This is one of the reasons I do what I'm doing today, is I got to meet people like Chase and other of you guys in chat. He's got a channel more popular than mine, and he does... well, I'm not sure what you're doing anymore, Chase. I meant to talk to you about this, to be quite honest. I don't want to put you on the spot here live, but he used to do a lot more comic reviews and analysis and things like that. Lately, Chase, you've been doing some like comic industry stuff. So I don't know if you've had a change in inspiration on what you want to do, and that's fine. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't got to sit down and talk to you. But me personally as a fan, one of the things I like that he does is when he talks about a book and he talks about the writing of the book, and he'll get into, what made the writing effective and how it worked. And I gotta tell you, the only reason I'm reading Marvel Comics today is because of Gateway into Comics, and because he did a review on Spider-Man Life Story. And that video that he did, where he breaks down that comic and he talks about it, was so compelling to me that I was like, I have to read this. Like, and sure enough, I did, and I loved it, and it's one of the best books. And that is the things I love about what Chase does, Gateway into Comics. That's what I love. I hope to see more of you, or more of that, Chase, in the future. But you do whatever it is you love to do. I will listen all the same. It's great to see you here. And also, I've been meaning to get back with you on things we talked about on a collaboration. I don't want to put you on this thing here, but we need to hit up on behind the scenes on that, because I haven't lost track of that. I know we haven't communicated, but it's sometimes life. I know you understand, of all people, life gets in the way. And then I saw you were on the Perch stream with me. By the way, if you guys watch Perch, I was on recently his last Friday night stream. I was on, and Chase makes a guest appearance for, I'd say, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes he was on, and then he had to go back to work or something. But he reminded me then. I was like, oh, Chase, and then you had to leave. And I was like, damn it, I wanted to talk to you. But go listen to that, guys. That was a great stream. It was me. Like I said, Chase guest starred there. Perch, obviously, it's his thing. Doc from the Comics Aficionados, and Brian. I forget his last name, but the creator of Rags from Antarctic Press is it, and we had a great discussion. I thought it was really fun. Let's see. Eric says, some of them know as much about his comics as I do. No Carol Danvers, all Kamala Khan. It was weird. All right, that's weird. Speaking of weird, Lawson Comics is here. No, I don't. That was a bad segue. It's not truly weird. I just like doing bad segues. Good to see you guys. They pop in every now and then. Lawson Comics, speaking of also channels more popular than mine, go check those guys out. That's a pair of individuals that they have a strong passion and love for comics. If you don't like abrasive, salty attitude like me, and you want more love and just sort of good feeling, good vibes, those guys, man, they love comics, and I like what they do. I'm always frustrated because I never win their contests. Damn it. That's all right. They had some cool contests. I really wanted that custom mug you guys made. That was really cool. Also, I don't know if you guys are still doing it, but they were doing kind of what I do, reading the comics. They were doing some of the Batman comics from Snyder's run, the Court of Owls, and they were doing like a read through of the book, but they were kind of like voice casting it. So it's like multiple people playing multiple voices, and much better professional job of it. Go find that on their channel. They did a solid job. I was like, this is cool. If you like kind of what I do and you wish it was even better, go over there and listen. Let's see. Gateway says, looking forward to Oblivion Song chatting. Yes. I'm all caught up on Oblivion Song, and holy crap, I just want to talk about it. Let's see. Eric says, but do they have your straw power? No, Eric, they actually have star power. They're in another league. Ash, what makes you have this rebellious nature? I like it. Give us the whole backstory. I'm not sure why I have this rebellious nature. To me, I'm just a person who believes very strongly in truth. I'm very, very much an honest person in all things. And I'm one of those people, I just think that, like, I'd rather have the truth than, like, sugarcoating, right? Like, I know the truth isn't always easy to hear. I know it's not pleasant, right? But I would rather have unpleasant truth than like a pleasant lie. Like, I don't want to be misled. I don't want to mislead other people. I want to know what's really going on. I want to know. I just want things to be real, right? And then once we can get everything real, then we can work on making things as good as they can be. But this idea of, well, if it's not nice, then we'll just lie about it. Or if I don't agree with it, then we'll twist it and manipulate people. And I just have this huge aversion to lying and deceiving and manipulating and all this stuff. And I don't know. It's just, that's me. And maybe it's a bit of projection. Maybe it's, because we all project to some extent, right? And we all see the world in a certain way. And when we're not thinking about it, we just tend to think that other people see the world the way we do as well. And since I'm not bothered by truth, right? Like, since that doesn't set me off, since differing opinions don't set me off, I behave in the way, and I kind of just expect other people, it's not going to bother anyone else, me saying this stuff. And then sometimes people get all pissed off and upset, and I'm like, whoa, why? Because you don't think like me. Because I get it, and I don't mean any harm, really. I don't. I'm just, to me, it's all ideas. These are just words, and like I said, they may not be the nice. I don't try to be mean with anything I say. I'm not hostile, but they might be opinions that people feel slighted by. I think some people might feel like attached to something. So if I say I think Kamala Khan is stupid, but that person is a fan of Kamala Khan, that somehow translates to be like, well, they're attacking me. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with you, in my opinion. That's how I think, right? So, like, for example, Doctor Doom's one of my favorite comic characters of all time. So if someone would be like, Doctor Doom is lame, I'm not going to just be like, oh, how dare you, I might be a little defensive, because I do defend the characters I love, but that's only because I want other people to see them the way that I do. I don't know why. I don't feel like that I'm really rebellious. I just feel more that I'm very blunt and untactful. So, let's see. We did have the first 7 issues as Batman New 52. It was so fun. We're going to do some more soon, says Lost in Comics. Great. So there you go, guys. People go check that out. I'll probably lose people visiting the stream if they do more of these. But hey, there's room. There's plenty of room for entertainment on here. Ed says, your truth. What about the truth? Well, so I was speaking of the truth, not my truth. I don't have my truth. I don't know. You must have jumped in late. Truth is truth over facts. I only see people online claiming that the Kamala I serve. Wait, I only see people online claiming they like Kamala. I serve and talk to hundreds of people a day. None mention. Oh, I see. I'm reading this all wrong. So the only people that you see that like Kamala are online, but everyone in real life, you don't meet anyone. That's kind of how I am with Last Jedi. Last Jedi online, almost unanimous, absolute vitriol and hatred. And you go in the real world and people are like, yeah, Last Jedi is fine, it's cool, I liked it. I'm starting to see a little bit more because I think that's like the hatred is spreading. But in the early days, like with several months after the movie, everyone I knew and everyone in real life I knew. And I mean, I saw that movie with like 12 people. Like I know several people that, no one walked out of that theater that night with the 12 of us and was like, oh, I'm disappointed. No, we were like jazzed. We went back and saw it the next day. And I'm not going to start a Last Jedi argument, but it's just funny how online and real aren't always the same. And there is a lot of groupthink in society. And I think the Kamala Khan, the Last Jedi, other things really do amount to groupthink. And a lot of times people believe that the group that they're in, their circle of people they communicate with or associate with, represent the greater society. Like it's an accurate sample of society. And it's like, no, that's a sample of groupthink. Like that's an echo chamber. And generally, just like how, if you have a bunch of women and they strongly congregate together for a long period of time, that they'll get on the same menstrual cycle. I believe that people that congregate in groups, like their mentality and their thought process starts aligning the more you congregate together. So let's see what else. The comic community needs people like you, Ash. All the different perspectives gives us balanced look at the world at large. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm one of those lost voices in the wilderness. I feel, several years ago, there was a ton of salty people talking about comics and so forth because of the whole Comicsgate thing. And then I feel like that died down, and a lot of people that were part of Comicsgate became averse to it. I think Comicsgate lost its way, and then it all became about, if you were it became about hating things, and it really became divisive. It became either hate all comics or love all comics. And I was like, why can't we just have just people just being honest? And, like, just, there's a lot of comics that suck, and there's some comics that are good. And let's just talk about it honestly. We don't have to join a side. We can just be free, independent thought. And I kind of like being I don't know if I really like being salty, but I enjoy, if I am salty, I enjoy expressing it. I think that's the best way to put it. I think a lot of people, because of the negative feelings in the YouTuber verse, like 2017, 2018, Comicsgate at its highest, the people that were like, I'm done with this, hating, kind of swung the other way. And I was like, and I was starting to notice that there was very few people like me that just try to be honest and objective and, praise the things that they feel need to be praised, and also be salty about the things that they feel need to be salty. It felt like a lot of people, and there's no real fault with this either. I don't know if Chase is still with us, but Chase and I had a talk behind the scenes, and he was like, I don't really want to trash on comics anymore. And I was like, that's fine. And I had a talk with him, and I was like, I don't think everyone should. And I said, one of the things that you do really good is advocate for comics. Like, you don't need to be like a YouTube critic. You're like, you don't need to do that. You can just be like, here are the great comics, and let me tell you why. And the ones that you think aren't good, just ignore them. Like, not everyone has to be like me and offer good and bad. Like, if you just want to talk about the things you love, I think that's great too. And I think there's going to be an audience, probably more so, that just want to hear about the good, because we got enough crap in the world that people don't want to come and listen to me and be like, oh geez, here's another negative Nancy. But I assure people I'm not trying to be negative. I just happen to have a high sodium diet, if you will. Speaking of sodium, let's read some comics, because that's what this whole stream is about. Not me pushing video games that are several years old. But if you guys, anyone want to play Division 2 with me, I would love to play. I'm going to be playing some after tonight, though, by the way. So I got it up on the screen. It just paused. So tonight we're going to get some Superman. Let's see. Here it is. Superman Man of Tomorrow, number 14. I hope you guys have a nice cold beverage, or a hot beverage if that's your preference. It's just too hot out here for that. I am tonight drinking pineapple Fanta. I don't know what you guys are having, but put it in the chat. Pineapple Fanta, the drink of the Nazis. I don't know if you guys knew about that, but Coca-Cola, there's a whole history about Fanta and Coke selling to the Nazis. Why that is really fascinating. You can go look it up. I'm not going to talk about it here. So what are we doing? Oh yeah, Superman Man of Tomorrow. Let's actually put it on the screen, because I'm really bad at doing that, where I'll start reading a comic. There was one episode I did where I read a whole comic and it wasn't on the screen. Oh my god, I'm a jerk. Sorry. Maybe I need to drink more. Maybe that'll loosen me up. Do I need to loosen up more? I try not to be a tight ass. I just try to have fun. Let's see. Eric says, speaking of enlightenment, do you plan on providing any tonight? Ow. Ow. Man. Ronnie says, I wondered about that myself, Eric. But I'm a ghost, apparently. Man, I must be doing really bad tonight, because if Marania is gonna jump in down the dog pile, she's usually my biggest offender. I must be screwing up pretty bad. Welcome, Marania. Regardless, Ash is like that guy in Animal House. Forget it. He's rolling. Let's see. I know I'm having a brain camp. Can't remember his name in the movie. No, I'm just a regular in chat, comment sections, and I used to be a guest on live streams. Dragon Ball. What did I miss? See, the problem is there's a lot of... when you get enough people in a chat, I can't read every comment. So I will end up missing a few things. Gateway says, yep, I quit burning comics. That torch was fun, though. I gotta tell you, man. I don't know if you guys have heard, like, Elon Musk has this company called The Boring Company. And one of the things he did, this weird marketing thing that he did where he created this, he basically built a flamethrower, and he sold like a limited number of them. You could buy this Boring Company flamethrower, and it was only $500, and I'm so bummed that I did not get one of these. I really wish I had one. And to be quite honest, I'm actually very glad that there's only a very limited number of these, because this whole time that the riots have been going on, I'm really shocked that there's not some dude out there with one of these Boring Company flamethrowers burning shit down. But I really wanted one of those. I don't know why I brought that up, but I would. Oh yeah, because the Gateway said that. I was like, that would be fun to use on comics, only the bad ones, only the really bad ones, not on all comics. Let's see. Ash, people are not being honest with themselves is because of insecurity, because they're afraid people will not like the real them, so they use selective hearing and put on an act. I don't know, is that a question or a statement? I kind of was reading that as a question. It could be that. I don't like to... I do find myself doing it quite a bit, but I don't like to presume what's going on in someone's mind and why they're doing it. I do know that we all have insecurities to some level. I mean, I know for sure I do some things of my own insecurities. I'm just human. Who knows? I think insecurities actually motivate us quite a bit in many ways. I think familiarity helps bypass insecurity. And I think we live in a world today where we're becoming less and less familiar with each other, right? Like, it used to be everyone knew their neighbors, right? You knew who they were, and you could go over to their house and be like, "I'll borrow a cup of milk, cup of sugar, whatever." Nowadays, man, for a while now, most people don't know their neighbors, and we don't have a lot of married whole families anymore. Like, most families are broken up, and now we're on social media, and people don't interact with each other face to face. And now with COVID, that's really exacerbated that problem. And when you live with someone, they get to see a lot of your ugly sides. But it's a good thing in a way, because once you get past that, and once they kind of get to see the real you, then you can kind of let your guard down, and then you can have more constructive relationships. But with someone online, I think a lot of people tend to be very fake. I know I actually have this problem big time. That's really struggles. I told you guys earlier in this whole thing how I'm a huge believer in truth and being real and honest, and I struggle so much with dealing with disingenuous people. And I do a lot of my two-way interaction on Twitter. And Twitter feels like 90% of people on Twitter are completely disingenuous. And it drives me batshit. Like, I'm just like, I can't stand talk. And And I don't know. I was talking to, who was I talking to? I was talking to a fellow, someone, one of the aficionados or someone, I don't know who it was off the top of my head, but talking about some of these people that are, I'm not going to name names, but on Twitter that have a bad reputation or whatever. And it's like, I sat down and talked to this person and behind the scenes and like got to see a different side of them and so forth. And I was like, yeah, I kind of believe that, because we're not being real with each other. And I don't know. I think there's some truth to that. Eric says RR if you want Marania to be on live streams again. I don't know what that means. I don't understand. Not according to Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias. Germans drink a lot of blood. Drink the blood of a certain religious people from Israel. Jesus, it's getting dark over here. Do a 24/7 comic book chat stream in shifts with your crew, you big Jimmy Breen Engelbert. Dude, I can't even get Breen to stream with me but like once a year on a full moon when Halley's Comet is coming. You can do a 24/7 stream. Jeez. Engelbert, though, that's funny. Ronnie says, I'll be married 27 years this November, and my husband is the real Superman for dealing with me for that long. Real talk. Well, congratulations, Marania, and I genuinely feel, how do I say this? Like, happy for you. I just, mine lasted 17 years, and it's a sad story, and I don't want to go into it, but it's one thing that's made me really appreciative. Like, if you were married, no matter what's going on, no matter the hardships you're having, well, I don't say no matter. I mean, things can get really bad, but if you have some positivity in your relationship, cherish that. Hold on to that. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Don't. If it's starting to, go down a negative path, like, fight to say stop whatever you're doing and make it work, because I think it's very easy to lose sight of the blessing you have. So I'm happy for you, Marania, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Eric Breen says, RT, my bad, can't see my screen. RT, like retweet? I don't. Do people not speak in normal anymore? I don't get it. Where Venkman at? Wake him up. Venkman doesn't like being on my stuff. I don't know. Venkman used to be a big supporter of mine, and then I think maybe I bored him to death. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Venkman. Probably these tweets. He probably just does too much stuff with England team, to be honest. I mean, that guy's, and other people, not just. I mean, he does a lot of stuff. Let's test the audio here. Am I still connected? I don't know. There we go. Okay. So anyways, the reason why I had that is I just had something pop up on my screen and tell me I was offline. I was like, what the hell? But apparently I'm still here. Yeah, I would like to see Bankman here. But I like I said, he's on a million streams. And he'd probably just be reading comics anyway. But he's always welcome. I like Bankman. OS asked, did you hear about a couple days after Chadwick Boseman's passing, the voice actor Norm Spencer for Cyclops on the 90s animated series, the X-Men, passed away as well? I had heard something about that. It's sad. A lot of people, and we are all mortals. And we pass. I'm sad about that. I try not to honestly make big deal out of people passing away. How should I say this? Public people passing away. Because I think there's this tendency to lay too much importance on someone's death because they were a public figure. And Chadwick Boseman is just another person. And millions of people die every year. Millions. Why is Chadwick Boseman matter more? Right? Does Chadwick Boseman's life matter more than David Dorn's? You know, like, one was a rich celebrity making millions of dollars to sing and dance on screen and live the high life. Another one was defending a business against evil people. So I don't want to bring things down, but then there's just the people who are dying from COVID. People who are dying, got hit by a car. Someone got struck by lightning. Someone had a brain aneurysm. I mean, there's so many people that pass and die that we don't even notice, don't even ever know or care. But then someone, an actor that was in a movie we really like dies, and we're like, oh my God. And, this is where my salty opinions get me in trouble. But I am sad that Chadwick Boseman died. I place a high value on life, and I wish the very best for his family and so forth. But, he was blessed. His family is blessed. And I'm sorry for their loss. And I obviously I can't grieve for everyone on the planet. I don't mean to disrespect anyone. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. I'm just trying to more bring it down to a real level. And it just sucks. It just sucks, man. It just everyone has people that they love, and eventually they don't. So hold on and cherish the ones that you have. That's what I was trying to get to earlier. Cherish your loved ones. I would have joined Purchase Stream, but I didn't see the link until after it was over. Does that count as our stream for the year? No, Eric, if I didn't have this gift sitting next to me that you sent me, I'd have to boot you right now. Thank you, by the way. I got your gift. Marania says, I'll have to see if we can get pineapple Fanta here. Faygo Red Pop is my favorite, not mainstream soda, along with Stewart's Root Beer. Stewart's Root Beer is okay. Faygo, you can't get Faygo out here in SoCal, not anywhere I'm aware of. I've never seen Faygo Red Pop. I'd like to try it. I love soda. But pineapple Fanta is pretty good. It's sweet. Tastes like not real pineapple. It has the candy pineapple taste. Nom, nom, nom. And I hear it's a favorite drink of Nazis. Just kidding. Just kidding, but I'm not really kidding. My dead friends and family, I have nightmares about. It's a secret, kind of, though. Another reason I'm up late at night. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Dragon. I saw neither of them sodas in upstate New York. Yeah, it's weird how all this stuff's different in different parts of the country. I was living in Colorado for a long time, and I was thinking that because I moved there from San Diego, and I was like, oh, I'm in Cowtown, Colorado, and I'm thinking we don't have stuff. And then I moved back here from Colorado, and I'm like, wait a second, Colorado had all sorts of stuff that you can't get out here. I think it's because I'm in the suburbs, though, and I'm just not going to the right stores. But let's get back to this. God, man, I just way in the weeds. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. It's time to read some comics. We'll get back to the chat later. Eric, this is a Robert Venditti production, so hopefully you like it. Pock, 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 pock. Outside of Metropolis, a U.S. Army black site. This is General Sam Lane. Security code Red Daisy. I need presidential authorization to retrieve the kill switch. The kill switch! Zoom. General Lane, what's your status? General Lane. You're the enemy, General. You can't trick me into being your secret anymore. I'll be the hero I'm meant to be. I'll have more glory than even Superman. Hero Envy, Part 1. Written by Robert Venditti. Artist, Paul Pelletier. Oh, yeah, look at that. The good artist is back. Oh, I'm excited. I like Paul Pelletier. And it's a multi-parter. Gonna get a little bit bigger story. Meanwhile, at the Daily Planet building. Come on, pick up. Something the matter, Lois? I've been trying to reach my father. He left a message. He said it was urgent. You don't think he found out about my, other job? There's this guy, Brian Bendis. He's been spreading the word around, telling people. Oh wait, sorry, I ad-libbed that part. Moving on. That would be an in-person conversation. Oh yeah, sorry, Bendis again. Where are you, Dad? Lane, do you have a minute? What is it, Perry? I just got a call from an old source inside the Department of Defense. Metallo has escaped military custody. Metallo? Metallo? But I thought... I know. But he's back. The machine man with the kryptonite heart. Your source has to be wrong. Metallo was my father's misguided project to create a super soldier capable of taking down Superman. After his last rampage proved the program had driven John Corbin insane, my father promised to demount... Jesus. My father promised me Metallo was decommissioned. How could... Oh no. My father has been trying to call me. Dad, what did you do? Sounds like he wanted to warn you. Metallo is as psychotic and deadly as it gets. He nearly killed Superman. That's it, I'm calling building security. I want everyone on the lookout. Between Metallo's obsession with you and his beef with Superman, Metropolis will be in his crosshairs. We'll send a car right away, ma'am. Our pleasure. I'm here to file a report. The police have been adequate soldiers, but there's a better hero to handle things now. Your service is no longer necessary. Oh shit, Metallo's defunding the police. He's a villain. Sorry. You're being discharged. I'm not talking to you as your editor, Lane. This isn't about a story. This is about safety. You need to find your father. I need to tell... Clark? Clark! You see that? For those of you that have been following along in this series, he left the clothes on the desk for the first time. Now you know he means business. No, Clark. What are you doing? What I have to. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum bum. You cops are just like the army. In on the conspiracy to stop me from being a hero. I handled them. I handled you. Only one last enemy needs to be eliminated. You're right on time, Superman. Kraboom! You're no hero, Metallo. Crying. A hero fights for others, not themselves. Pause. See? What was I talking about earlier? Exactly. Superman gets it. Back to the story. Clank. A hero doesn't pick fights. They stop them. Flip. The kryptonite is getting to you. Want someone to stop our fighting, Superman? That's why I came back. I've got the heart of a hero. Let me share it with you. Zakoom. You thought if you hit me hard and fast this time you'd win? Great battle plan. How's it working out for you? You have no idea what it means to be a hero. I gave my body for my country. Most of it, anyway. General Lane and his mad scientists turned me into this. I accepted it, but sitting idle like an old tank while you get to be a hero in front of the world, that I will never accept. Wham! I sacrificed everything to become a hero. You were born with it. Slam. When have you ever had to sacrifice anything? That doesn't make you a hero. It just makes you lucky. How lucky do you feel now, Crunch? Looking a little green, Superman. Is that envy showing itself, or do you just not have the energy for this fight? It's time for you to finally sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice. The world doesn't need you. Metallo is... Rabam! I really don't like driving with you. Lois... I know Superman looks bad, Miss Lane, but don't worry. This is when he shows he's faking it and springs his trap. Metallo won't know what hit him. I'm sorry. My darling Lois, I'm glad you're here. You're going to deliver a message for me. Whoop, 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 whoop. Stay on course, pilot. Metallo is 12 clicks ahead. Dead ahead. Whoosh. Why is Superman heading away from the city, General? Fly faster. Meanwhile, at Star Labs. A simulated energy void prison cell. So hungry. Krakoom! What did you want with me? Who? You. You left me here to starve. Parasite, I need your help. Next. Last blast. This is cool. For those of you who weren't around or haven't read, for the early issues that Venditti and Paul Pelletier did together featured a big story with Parasite. And so it's kind of fun to see him revisiting now and Parasite playing a bigger story. And it seems pretty clever. You're going to fight Metallo, you can't fight the kryptonite, but maybe Parasite can help you. I like where this is going. I very much do. These books are fun. They're just solid, fun Superman books. They're not necessarily the Superman book that I want to be as the mainstream, although they're definitely better than what is going on as the mainstream. But they're very basic, back to basics level stories. They're a little bit too simplistic, like I said, just to be that main level, book. But they're perfect for these sort of backstories that are being told. And this is Robert Venditti just doing average work for Venditti standards. So I wish I could see him shifted into 6th gear. But that was that. Let's go back to the chat and see what I missed. Oh, I got a bunch of alerts covering everything on the screen. Get off there, you crap. Let's see. I always forget to mark where I was. Let's see. Ronnie says Red Pop is a strawberry soda, but it tastes like a combination of all the red fruits too, if that makes sense. So it sounds like it's a berry soda, like strawberries, raspberries, cherry. I guess cherry's not a berry, but whatever. Sounds good to me. I like berries. Dragon Ball says I'm ready for comics. Hell yeah. Ed Brewer says this dude should beat Soups all the time. Dragon Ball says hit like I'm like number 8. What? I think Perry White is Batman. Shut up, Ed. Making fun of my limited voice acting abilities. Sorry, I had to take another swig of some Fanta. eBay always delivered quick for me if shipping was from the USA. That was out of left field. I always have good luck with, I usually have good luck with eBay. Jimmy from Comics Works says, hey. Ed says, sup, Jimmy. And Eric Breen says, Quirks. There you go. You wanted me to read all that? Ronnie says they use the splash page as the cover. Nice. Well, that is kind of nice, but it also kind of goes to show how this was meant to be a backstory, like in the Walmart 100-page Giants. But then when they make their own and they don't have a cover, they got to pull the art from somewhere. But I'm cool. I always think that the interior artist should do the cover. So, when does Supergirl arrive and save Superman? Sorry, wrong writer, he says. That's a good one, Eric. High five. Didn't Metallo sound like Norm McDowell on the cartoon? I don't watch the cartoons. I can't imitate. Sorry, I just have to make something off the fly. So if I had seen the cartoon, I would have tried to emulate what the cartoon sounded like, but I had no idea what he sounded like. I think Norm McDowell would sound really stupid for him though, so I don't know. Let's see. Parasite, says Maranya. Ed says, this is a real Superman story. I like how it's still like not in the continuity, like that it doesn't have the stupidity of like his identities revealed, which I have to say is really weird how DC is doing this. Like it only seems to affect Superman. Nowhere else like is it happening. Oh, they mentioned it once in the Batman Superman comic, And it was almost like Josh Williamson was just like, I'm going to acknowledge it and then have Batman like shut it down. Or Batman was going to like question it and Superman. Like, it was just like this throwaway line just to like move past it. Like, you could almost hear the contempt in the writers wanting to just be like, this is so stupid, you know, and like move on. But other than that, you'd think this would be huge news, right? You'd think like Batman would be like, what the hell just happened? Like it would all over the DC universe. People would be like, what the F? Clark Kent is Superman? But no one stops and notices. Just like, huh, every day, just normal. I don't know. It's but I like in here how he's still secret identity. And I like here also how Lois is like a good wife, good supportive wife, understanding. She's feminine. She's strong and like helps Clark, you know, because Clark's Superman, but he's still a man and he needs those strengths that women bring to the relationship. And they make a good couple and a good pair and a good team. And I miss that out of the anyways, I don't know go into that, but God, Venditti I wish Venditti could write all the comics. I remember Parasite was from the Superman Spider-Man second crossover as the villain along with Doom in that book. That is a weird pairing of supervillains, but I guess it's a weird pairing of superheroes. Oh, Dragon says the thumbs up button press. I was number 8. Well, thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. The eBay comment wasn't out of left field. I was whining about the pending order taking over a month. Oh, wow. Apparently I wasn't reading everything you said. I generally see your tweets though, Eric, because you have the wrench. Oh, never mind. I highlighted your thing and then I skipped it. I'm still waiting on trades I ordered from Cheap Graphic Novels a month ago. Okay. There you go. Well, you ordered cheap graphic novels and get what you pay for. Malcolm McDowell. Okay, Malcolm McDowell is a little bit different than Norm McDonald. So, you said Normal McDowell. I read it wrong. I read Normal McDowell as Norm McDonald. Oh God, that was terrible. Sometimes I can't read right. Can you imagine Metallo sounding like Norm McDonald? Anyways, that'd be funny. Ronnie says the banter with Lois and Clark about ruining the suits is realistic in terms of couples. It shows if a writer has the right knowledge, they can make good stories. Definitely. I also like though, Marania, that he incorporated that. Like at first it just feels like a throwaway line, right? Like, oh, did you remember to take off your clothes? Like, and she's ruining it. And she's like, God, we got to buy a whole new suit again, you know, like, and then that piece comes back and then you feel like, okay, this is becoming like a signature thing that they do. That's just kind of a funny, like, aha, like a little inside joke. And then this time he remembers, right? And if you just read this comic and you hadn't read those other ones, you would not catch that panel. You'd see like his clothes were there and you'd know that he turned into Superman, left. But you'd know also that this is the first time that he didn't like mess up the clothes. Like this is the first time he took it seriously. He stopped like, and for me, maybe I'm reading into things. I don't know, but for me, it made me go, oh shit, shit's about to get real. You know, like, and I don't know. I just love that. I think it's a subtle thing that Venditti's able to do, and I enjoy it. Eric says Ash needs bifocals. You are not kidding. I do. Ronnie says I have bifocals, progressive lenses, plus for astigmatism. Eric, so fun. Yeah. I am nearsighted, but actually I don't need bifocals because I'm near. I need bifocals only because I'm nearsighted, but the nearsightedness is getting so bad now that I can't see up close. Like when I wear my glasses and look up close, it's like it's too harsh focus. It's hard for me to. I can read close without my glasses, but I have to like take them off. And so anyways, you don't care about this stuff. You're like, oh, Ash wears glasses. You know, I used to wear contacts when I was younger and I had more vein, but I do too much stuff in front of the computer, and wearing contacts, they're always in. So it was making extra strain on my eyes looking up close, because the contacts are, of course, obviously focusing in for you. Whereas with glasses, if I'm sitting at a computer or whatever, I just take them off and I don't have that extra strain. But if I need to look at a distance, then I can just pop them on really easy. And I'm also not vain anymore. Clark taking the clothes off shows his respect for Lois. Yeah, I can see that too. I believe he always had respect. But yeah, it certainly reinforces that feeling, that he's not just giving lip service to her. Like, yeah, I'll do it next time, you know, like, for sure. Ronnie says, I'm also nearsighted. The trifecta, Ash. Hell yeah. High fives to nearsighted peoples. And Eric, don't join in the high fives. We're not talking about short-sighted. This is a little different. We're talking about nearsighted. All right, so next comic for the evening. It's the one you've all been waiting for. It's been the big hit. I've had no one say anything nice about it. No one's been excited about the book, and that's kind of surprising, to be honest. This book was a majorly hyped book when it came out. Not majorly hyped like before it came out. It's one of those books that it came out and then people read it and were like, oh my god, it's so good, and then it went into like 5 or 6 printings. So it's one of those things that was on fire, spread by word of mouth, and people just loved the hell out of it, and you couldn't get early copies. And it's so much that even though it didn't look like something that was up my alley, I was like, you know what, everyone's saying how great this is, I'm gonna go pick it up. So I picked up the first 5 volumes, which is the first trade. And, you know, I like discovering new things. And I have discovered quite a few really good comics, especially in the indie scene. The indie scene is where some of the best comics are, for sure. This is not one of them, in my opinion. I'm not trashing. It's not a terrible book by any means. It's just not living up to that bar that... Excuse me. I had to yawn. Wow, that's not a good thing to do live on air. Yawn on your own stream. Oh, man. I've only lost about 3 or 4 people. Apparently not Superman fans, or they're not Die fans. So we're going to get this over with. If I could sell it any harder. Eric says, I can't see shit. I wear contacts because my glasses slide down my nose, and that drives me nuts. You can see Pluto with my contacts, and F you, Ash. Hey, as long as you buy me a beer, you can say F you all you want. Maranya says, I used to wear contacts when I LARPed. They got to be too much of a pain between maintenance and irritating my eyes. Props to you, Eric, for wearing them. Dragon says, I'm here regardless, till the end. And speaking of the end, Lord is here. Hello, Lord. Welcome back to the show. Just in time for everyone's favorite comic, Die. Man, that hits the spot. This is issue number 5. This will be the final issue that we'll be reading live on the stream. You can get the first issue, by the way, on Comixology for free. No strings attached. So if you missed that issue or just want to read it yourself or have it, pick it up. The remaining issues that are included here are less than $1 each, so you can get the whole run or this whole first arc for less than the price of a single comic, if it's something that you would like to have and continue reading. There you go. So I have promoted the book, and now we'll read Mr. Fahrenheit says, "Soups up, nerds." Thought he was calling me super nerd, but I don't qualify for that. Welcome yourself, nerd. Welcome to the show. We're going to read some nerdy comics now. Number 5, Premise Rejection. In 1991, 6 teenagers disappeared into a fantasy role-playing game. Only 5 returned. In 2018, 5 adults are dragged back to discover the 6th still wants them to play. (1985). What do you think? This must have taken you ages, Soul. You used all the pieces. Wow, that's skill. What are you going to build next? No. You don't take it apart. It's finished. Glasstown. Now. The Chamberlain was smart. It took the best part of a week for me to work out a way to get him alone. And this statue of the Grandmaster displays the wheel of the sacred emotions? Gaudy, awful thing. But he did insist. Thank you for your time, Chamberlain. I know there's always a little reluctance to meet a dictator alone. Less reluctance, more screaming horror, but I realized how foolish I was being. You're a paragon. You are destined to deliver the world from the Grandmaster. You're not the same thing as just a common garden dictator. Quite. Other dictators are amateurs. All your heart leans towards me. Don't tell anyone about this, of course. I would be displeased. You've used your... Oh, God. Of course, I wouldn't. I couldn't dream of such a thing, Mistress Ash. Don't call me that. You haven't earned it yet. Just do what I wish, and we'll get along fantastically. It's so easy. It's like breathing. It's like breathing fire. I know, more than ever, we have to get out of here. Now listen. I have certain questions about Glasstown's defenses. I would appreciate answers. He looks at me with fear and adoration. He tells me everything. And now we've another one of my plans. Great news, Lady Isabel. Lady Isabel has a message for us all. The whole population of the Glasstown Confederacy must gather in the Temple of the Mourner. Attendance is mandatory. Mandatory, I say. Half would have come if Isabel had asked. But this way makes sure everyone is here. The beautiful crystalline city empties, and it's so strange. A pin could drop, and it could all shatter. You're all assembling, Lady Ash? Did I do well? Please, never speak in such a crass way in public. I'm so sorry. I'll scourge myself to make amends. You'll do no such thing. Act normal and look after everyone. I'll free him from all of this when it's over. He'll remember everything. He'll never trust me or any of us again. But he'll live. I will. And Lady Angela, is she well? We could gather fair gold for her, and Lady Angela has gone for a walk. She'll be back soon. Eternal Prussia. Before there were people on Die, there was an earlier era of pure math. Toy soldiers with inhuman stoicism crushed by wanton boys. The remaining machines of Eternal Prussia are good soldiers. They follow orders. We can use that. Okay, let's try this. Shield dropping in 3, 2, 1, and give order. Attack Glasstown. Equal true. Affirmative. Then let's go. Us equal attack Glasstown. The front. I told you I wouldn't leave you, Case. Not yet. Here's a treat. It's enough for today. I'm sorry I won't be here tomorrow. System, communicate message. I'm coming back and I've got company. Affirmative. The Grand Dome is indestructible. This we knew. I wish you'd carry an actual weapon. I'm never unarmed. And besides, you're here. The Chamberlain told me about the magical core wrought by the first master of Glasstown, upheld by Soul. We destroy it, and there'll be no more dome. Glasstown will be defenseless. Of course, it's guarded. Ash, make me sad. Children with no father, wife with no husband, no explanation, no resolution, forever. Thank you. At least half of them look like that bully whose name I never learned. I just knew him as the kid in the other year who solely addresses me as fag. If you have to watch someone being cut into pieces time and time over, well, there are worse options. When you're back, they'll wish you were gone. They don't need me anymore. Don't listen to it. Destroying this is one step closer to home. I'll get you back to your family. The dome shatters. It doesn't take long for people to realize what it means. Doom is upon us. The shield is down. A Prussian Blitzhost is attacking. Disaster. Chamberlain, whatever has... Nothing. I don't know anything. I have no suspicions. Be quiet, you fool. Stay calm, everyone. I've got this. Mourner won't care. Oh, God. Archivist or the Skywatcher? Archivist or... Hey, Skywatcher. No. Glasstown. I always knew it would all go wrong, and the sky is falling. I always knew the sky would fall. I always knew they'd end up as fertilizer and... I thought you should know the city's people are all fucked unless you give them a way out. Of course, the bloody rich can't stop on the bloody peasants like this. It's a bloody outrage. You brought this to my attention, Izzy. I'll remember it. I owe you. Wow. Thank you for easily angered harvest gods. Oh God, I'm actually going to do this. Here goes. Christ. Listen, I came here due to a grand prophecy. The price of defeating the Grand Master, it's Glasstown. Its time is over. I gathered you to ensure you all live. I have bartered with the Skywatcher to secure your escape. Messiah, you saved us. You have delivered us all. I'm not... Let me go. Mistress Woe is calling. remembered you owed me? Well, this is a wonderful mess you've made. Let's call it quits, The stage is set. The party gathers together and waits. We've done our part. It's time for Chuck to do his. By doing something really fucking stupid. Come out, Soul! We're totally fucking up your toys. Nice statue. Shame it's been destroyed. I thought Ash was the one with the eye-catching bust here, am I right? Oh, hello? What have you done? I did all of this work for you. You ungrateful. Do you think this was easy? You're ruining the game. Yeah, but the game, it kind of sucks. Soul was always a planner. We're off the rails. He's not comfortable with any of this. But that doesn't mean he can't improvise. Anything that flies now freezes. Soul's the Grandmaster. Grandmasters tweak the rules. Laws of physics. Fuck. Soul, listen to me. Laws of magic. And the laws of the game. No dictatorship during daytime in Glasstown. One way or another, you're going to listen. What he's done isn't easy. He stopped me using my gift. But that he's put so many limitations on it, it shows he's at the edge of his resources. He's weak. This is what Soul's weakness looks like. Fly, my pretties, please. One of you at least get the reference. He sees Angela flickers as she circles and thinks she's the threat, when she's really the distraction. Arg! Good boy. Very good boy. Ash, you're up. Soul, listen. We have to go home. And I know you. I've been paying attention. The knight with the empty eye sockets. The little Englander with molten eyes. The golem with no eyes at all. You've been trying to tell us how afraid you are. And I get it. But we're with you, and you won't be alone anymore. This is all I have. Don't go. Stay. I can't stay. I don't trust myself here. I have to go. We have to go. I free the flyers. Overload. Overload. He's got his powers back, Ash. Case won't hold him. Soul, don't do this. I know you don't want to do this. I made all of this for you. For you, Ash. No, I don't know him. I knew him. I'm never unarmed. Death touch. Don't be too impressed. It's basically a dagger with an even shorter range. The only plus is people can't take it off me. But it does the job. I think I've killed my friend. He was dead a long time ago, I tell myself. I look to my friends for understanding. I see strangers. I said I would do anything to get back. Soul's gone. Now the party is unanimous. We can go. Judge me when we're all home. Make the damn wish. The game is over. The game is over. The game is over. The game is... Are we really rushing into this? I can do pull-ups again. I like doing pull-ups and elvish chicks. There's nothing like an elvish chick. Even for you, this is a bad time to make jokes, Chuck. We're in the middle of a fucking war zone. Who's making jokes? Compared to you all, I've got a great life back home. But compared to this, why not stay here? Chuck, if you say one more word, I'll... Shoot me? Is this like a family thing? Kill friends first, make sure everyone is cool with it later? I thought you'd be open to the idea. I mean, with your... What? Do you actually think that? You think I'll swap my kids for a magic fucking hand? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with all of us? The Grandmaster is gone, but we've destroyed a city. These people need us as much as the people at home. We said we'd treat everyone here like they were real. And this is a humanitarian disaster. We can't swap people we care for this. We all have people waiting for us. You do. I don't. I have a class full of kids who don't listen to me, a silent father, and a mother who loathes me. I don't even have a cat. And, hey, in the long run, my kids will just be grateful to inherit earlier and not have to put up with my shit. I'll bet my books sell better when I'm spooky urban mystery. Everyone stop. We're losing it. Listen to me. Does Soul's rule tweaks stop the voice now that he's gone? I don't know. But Chuck and his pistol aren't taking any chances. You open your mouth again and I shoot you. We've seen people that do what you do to people who We've seen what you do to people who disagree with you, Ash. Hey, Skywatcher. Calling in that favor. Get us out of here. What are we going to do? Fallen proximity alert. 00101. Hello, everyone. Soul. He's fallen. You killed me. Dead now. So I am fallen. You never did work it out. All the fallen here. They're everyone who came here from our world and died. They all start like I am, but diminish until they are just empty need, brainless, envious husks that know but one thing. If we kill the players, we can live again. System, lock him down. Affirmative. Oh, God. All of them. All those fallen. They were people like us. What are we going to do? Get out of here before any of the dragons get bored with buildings for a start. Ash, that's putting it off. We have to find them, make them see sense. I mean, we all have to want to go home, but if they somehow are gone, their vote doesn't matter? If they all die, we can go home. Heh. Die. Still lying. Not the word. Never was. The word is murder. Wow, that was kind of a trippy, creepy ending. I didn't see that kind of coming. Um, I kind of liked that issue. I kind of liked that it became more than it was. I felt like it was just kind of a trope, and now I feel like there's like the author has something to say. Um, I don't know. I like the fantasy version of Tron. It's like, yeah, you know, like if Tron was a fantasy. I like the being stuck in the real world, the outer world. It's interesting. Um, I'm not in love with this book, but this book made me want to see like more where it goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it though. I mean, you got to listen to my, you know, one of a kind expert reading, if anything. No one reads comics like Ash. See, I can say that. That's true. It's just how you interpret that to really mean. Um, as long as you're enjoying it, though, hopefully helping you get to sleep if you have insomnia. I'm sure Chase is completely, you know, passed out right now, and so I helped him. He was having trouble sleeping. Let's see. Um, Computer Robot says, "Bye, guys. I gotta go. I gotta go. Feel tired right now. Take care, everyone." See, I help Computer Robots fall asleep. I'm here. I left for a minute to respond to a comment on a vid I did. Well, as long as you're multitasking during these videos, Blue Dragon, appreciate that. There's a whole anime genre of trapped in RPG, D&D land type anime, Overlord. The time I became slime, hack and signed to a new... Yeah, but we talked about this before, Dragon. I'm not sure if you were around, but back in the 80s, there was a cartoon called Dungeons and Dragons based on the RPG, obviously the same name. And that was the exact trope that it was. Is these real world kids who played D&D get stuck in the D&D world, and they have they're playing their characters. This is that exact same trope, just taken to a more adult level. So let's see. Eric says, "I envy Chase." Ronnie says, "That ending is annoying, but I do want to see where it goes next." Yeah, I'm not terribly annoyed because I know that this is a big ongoing story, so I didn't expect it to be like an actual Act 3. But at least it did feel like the story was going somewhere. I felt almost like the end of that book, I almost feel like that was the end of Act 1. I feel like that's it. Now Act 2 is where the next story arc is going to go, which, like I said, I can see some potential of this. I can see that there's stakes now, and I can see that it's going to matter, and that there's an actual story to tell, like why they're there, what it means to leave, what will these characters do to leave, what will they do to each other. It's almost a little Lord of the Flies-ish. Yeah. It's interesting. I can see kind of why people are interested in this. I also can see, man, so many role playing tropes. Like if you're not a pen and paper role player, they probably went over you. But there's so many things that you're just like, I was reading this, I was like, man, this is stuff I totally get in being in an RPG, being the game master, like the whole thing with Soul orchestrating everything. And then the players going off the rails and going, this is something that is one of the most frustrating things in the world for a game master, when you have this whole planned out story for your players and you're leading them through and they just refuse to follow it. And they're just like, we're going to go to this town over here. And you're like, why? The story's leading you this way. Oh, but we want to go here. It's like they refuse to follow the story, and then they start causing chaos and doing the most dumb shit things. You're like, why are you guys doing this? Because they can. And it's just so, and you could see like why Soul's character would get all upset, because he represents the game master. And it's just, there are things like that. There are references that were kind of subtle that I was like, I get this. Like this is Kieran Gillen's whole like experience being a game master like put down into a story. It is what it almost feels like. Let's see. Mr. Fahrenheit says, you got to check Big Man Plans. Great series. It's 4 issues. I have never heard of this. I don't know what Big Man Plans is at all. Is it a comic? I guess it's comics. Ronnie says this trope is what they used for the Jumanji remake and also Zathura. Wasn't the Jumanji remake like they got trapped in a video game? Let's see. Dragon Ball says I had the D&D toys. Yeah. They were cool back in the day. Let's see. Dragons read Street Fighter comics or Mortal Kombat comics. Are there any good ones to read? And if so, are they on Comixology? Because that's really what matters. Speaking of really mattering. Oh, man. My game shut off. I got to turn my game back on. I'm going to play some Division. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are what really matter to me. I love talking comics. I love talking what's on my mind. I love sharing enthusiasm about the same things. Not just comics. Comics happen to be kind of, I think, what all of us here share together. But, you know, I have every other interest. I'm interested in politics. I'm interested in video games. I'm interested in movies, books, animals. I love dogs. So I can sit here and just talk stuff all day about things. But when that enthusiasm is returned, when people enjoy that, I don't know. I think there's something communal about it. I think there's something great in seeing other people's points of views, observing their personalities, and just, you know, kind of having a little bit of fellowship, kinship, whatever you want to call it. These are some of these things I look forward to. So I appreciate you indulging me, being here, listening to these. Appreciate you giving me input, feedback, suggestions, all that stuff. I take everything to heart. And we're going to have to come up with a new series to read for, Tuesday? Will be the next episode, right? Today's Sunday? Yeah, so Tuesday will be the next. So it'll have to be something brand new. So I'll have to do some thinking. As always, my Twitter is open. My Discord is open. And you can always leave comments on any of my YouTube videos if you want. Just if there's something you want me to read. If it's on Comixology Unlimited, I can do it. Or if it's not and you feel like donating it, you're welcome to do that as well. I'm happy to try to oblige any way I can. Anything that'll make this more fun for all of us. And I love discovering new comics. So that's always great too. Eric says Ash reads potatoes too. That's true. It's Eric's favorite comic. So I do read potatoes for him. Ronnie says I'll stick with the Superman, Batman, and Die combo for these shows myself. Well, I'm not sticking with Die anymore, Ronnie. We're moving on. There'll be more Superman and Batmans, though. They won't necessarily be every episode. Dragon says, I'll watch to dawn if it's still on. I'll sleep 6 a.m. to noon. All right. Well, it's good to have another night owl, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do have to go. I am getting kind of tired. I do want to play a little bit of the Division, and then I got to be up tomorrow. It's always fun with you guys. I enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, we'll have fun. And hopefully I'll get to hook up with Chase. I'm trying to do something with him about indie comics. And if anyone's listening in the chat and you would like to collaborate, let me know. If you would like to guest appear on an episode and just shoot the shit about comics, let me know that too. I do like the reason I kind of started this whole comic reading thing is because I feel like I do a lot better when I have a conversational style with someone than just being the single one-man show. I'm not good at that. I just tend to ramble too much. So I do like that. So if there's anyone, you hit me up, do that. We'll try to make make it happen. I don't know. It's tough. My schedule's weird, so it's usually what gets in the way. At least it gives Eric Breen a good excuse. So good night, everyone. As Marania says, take care and stay safe out there.